Induce tranquility and zen-like feeling and relaxation. And so Satori is soothing and tranquil, yet stimulating and vital. Satori transcends traditional apartment living in Minneapolis in every way. Our modern residences reflect designer touches, fine craftsmanship, and eco-friendly considerations that are beautiful as well as smart. As for the atmosphere, it's calm, cool, and city sophisticated. Our upscale amenities have been thoughtfully chosen to pamper and inspire naturally. And when you want the best of Minneapolis, it's close to home, or only a short drive away. Living in the now is one of the best amenities we offer. Satori is the mind, body, style connection you've been searching for. Some of those amenities are restaurants and shopping on site or nearby. We're going to be producing Class A office space, concierge service, sheltered parking, 24-hour cameras and security, state-of-the-art fitness center, yoga studio, spa with whirlpools and sauna, rooftop decks with lounges and grills, elegant club room with a demonstration kitchen, a cyber cafe with HD TV, computers, printer, and copier, a stylish conference room, Wi-Fi access throughout the club room and the roof deck, earth-friendly features throughout, washer and dryer in each apartment unit, stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, hand-selected finishes, including wood finishes, dual vessel porcelain sinks in the master bathrooms, on and on and on. We want to bring the best to North Minneapolis on Broadway Avenue. This is the subject area that we're proposing. To the right, to the right of the, I don't know if you can see the 800 block, the building on the right that's adjacent to the Cup Foods grocery store. That building will be at first floor retail and 3 levels of market rate housing. The retail will be oriented toward Cup Foods so that it'll be a retail campus when you come into the Cup Food parking lot. And we'll have outdoor seating. We talked to Cub and they're enthusiastic about doing some cross parking and access easements to make it work. The next block is the 900 block. That block will have retail first floor, office on the second floor, and 4 levels above that of luxury apartments. And in the 1000 block, we've got first floor retail, possibly second floor office, depending on the absorption of the office space, and 3 through 5 of, again, luxury housing. This is just an area map that you're all familiar with, about the location, proximity to the river. This is just an urban context showing the depth of the property as we build it into the existing residential community. Again, on the right, we've got a parcel that's 1.75 acres. In the middle of the 900 block is 2.07 acres. And the 1000 block is 1.5 acres. And I'm going the wrong way. The wrong way. So I wanted to show you the elevation of what the buildings would look like. What we've proposed is just concept. It's not the real architectural design, but I had the architect just do a program to see just what the site would look like, how it would lay out, how many units would be available, what we could offer to potential tenants in the way of retail, restaurants, and shops. We have on the 900 block, we've got about 43,000 square feet of office space, and we're currently talking to a national credit tenant that wants to consolidate their offices there, and that's in progress as we speak. We haven't secured them yet, but this just demonstrates to me the interest level of a potential project in North Minneapolis. These are the 3 blocks. At the top on the left is the 800 block. Of course, in the middle is the 900 block, and the right is the 1000 block. Yes. This is just a perspective of the 3 blocks. And you can see how they would lay out in the community. In the back of the 900 block, we have a 300-car parking ramp. It's a little more than 100 stalls on each level of the ramp. To the right, you can see the 800 block building that's adjacent to the carpool parking lot and how that would be oriented as well. What we propose also is to set the buildings back off of Broadway, because if you walk down that block, you know that you can barely walk 2 or 3 people abreast because it's so tight. So we're going to set the buildings back a bit so that we can have landscaping and space for programming and maybe some outdoor seating for the restaurants and the retail. This is a layout of the parking arrangement. As we indicated, we have underground parking for each one of the buildings for the residences, and the retail and the office will be primarily using the parking ramp, and also for general parking. Again, footprint of the three blocks. On the right of the 800 block, that's the L-shaped building. In the center is the 900 block, and you'll see the opening between the two buildings. On the first level, we're going to have a walkway that's going to be about 2 stories, so that the retail in the first on the Broadway Avenue side can access the parking easily and not have to walk around the entire block. So that adds context and depth. And also, by having that thoroughfare, will make those in units more attractive to retailers because they're having a corner unit as well. Can you back up, Justin? On the left building, you'll see that there's a smaller airway. The red block on the left is the American Indian Center, and we've incorporated that into this plan, and we anticipate keeping that building and building around that building as a matter of just creating context and continuing it into the existing block, the 1100 block. We hope that we can include that into the project, but it may not be a part of this project, but we'd like to be able to incorporate it so that it helps with the transition to the next block. Okay. This is just some of the green treatment that we're looking at. We've got a dog run plan, we've got apartment patios. On the left plan, you can see the dark area in the center. That's going to be a serenity garden for the residents. And again, to allow green space and a park-like setting for the residents to help with the connection and the Zen concept that we plan to present. This is a west-looking east-southeasterly view, and in the background is the skyline of downtown Minneapolis, so that on the second and third levels and above, there'll be excellent views of downtown Minneapolis. And as you can see on the right side, you can see the American Indian Center that's there, and we've got a couple of floors of units above that, in an attempt to integrate that into the project. This is another perspective, again, looking southwesterly. And this is the 800 block building that's facing the Capri groups, and we have the restaurants and retail on the first floor as well. If you look at the top of the screen, you'll see that on the right of the 800 building, between the 9 and 1000 block, we're proposing a skyway link, so that the community will seem like one continuous community, and that the tenants and the residents can transverse between building to building and just be one part of our community for shopping, for access to the parking and so forth. A perspective of the 800 block elevation, the 900 block elevation, the 1000 block elevation. This is a perspective of the opening between the two buildings. As you can see, it's open and airy, and again, it's 2 stories tall, and with stairs that would access to the office level for the ease and convenience of the tenants on that level. Again, another perspective. This is a perspective from the south looking north. So we're behind the buildings now, and you can see on the left the Serenity Garden that we're proposing. And on the right, you can see the parking ramp in the center of the U-shaped building there, or what actually looks like a U-shaped building, but to the right is the 800 block, and the parking ramp is behind the 900 block. Between the 900 block and the 1000 block, there's the access and entrance to the underground parking. You can see in the 900 block, and the same is true directly opposite on the 1000 block, parking access to the underground parking. Again, an architectural rendering of what it could look like. Well, that's the project. We're excited about it. I think it'll do grand things for the Broadway corridor. I think that while it offers some density, more density than we're accustomed to, I think it's the kind of density that we need and that the mayor says she'd like to see, and our councilperson, Lon Yang, said he'd like to see. And frankly, I think what the market would like to see in terms of creating and living the vision. We're in the process now of talking to the property owners. This can't happen unless we can agree to reasonable terms with the property owners, and then that may be the biggest lift in trying to secure agreements with 25 different property owners. Talk about herding cats. I mean, that's quite the task. So we're still doing that as we speak. We've got contracts that actually went out today before I came here, so we're in an active mode with that. We have met with the mayor, her staff, and the project was well received by the mayor. She was guardedly enthusiastic about the potential and the impact that it could have on the corridor. We have ordered a feasibility study, which we have not yet received, and that's going to be key because once we get that study, we can build pro formas to determine what the financial gap is going to be. We anticipate there's going to be a gap. I anticipate there's going to be a huge gap that we're going to have to fill. But we're encouraged by the response that we've gotten from the investment community in terms of potential equity partners, as well as some programs that we may be able to access, such as tax increment district creation. And we're talking to the city about maybe implementing that tool. We're starting to engage with a broker or two to market the office and the retail so that we can start to actually put some life into the pro forma. It's one thing to have projections, but it's another thing to have actual tenants and partners that we can actually count on. So with that, I'm going to open the floor for questions. I've been prompted by our committee chair that it's time for me to be quiet and open the floor for questions. Oh, you think we need a mic?
Well, we're tape recording, so it'll be better if people's voices
You
are.
tell me that.
Tape recording.